Hey, what's up with your YouTube family and friends? Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you read the title, I am coming to you with a little bit of news from out of Florida. And it is some very disgusting, very unfortunate news. And it is about a 44-year-old pastor by the name of Antonio Carlisle. Antonio Carlisle, he's actually the senior head pastor over the Greater Vine Missionary Baptist Church. And this is from out of Lakeview, Florida. So this pastor, also on the weekends, he was the former corrections educational supervisor, rehabilitator, and he was actually accused allegedly of raping an inmate. So the inmate described the situation. They were studying in the room, and it was only Pastor Antonio Carlisle and him in the room. So he actually said the pastor grabbed him and overpowered him and forcefully penetrated him. Now, this is a pastor, not just a pastor, but a senior pastor that did this disgusting act. And I know some people may say, well, how do they know the inmate is not lying? Because there was a mouth swab done on Pastor Antonio Carlisle, and it tested positive from the vaginal bodily fluid that was in the inmate. That's how they know. But this is not Pastor Antonio Carlisle's first run with aggravated sexual assault. That is actually the charge that he received. And I believe he is actually still incarcerated in a jail in Florida. And his bond is set at $700,000. That's good. $700,000 bond. But back in 2002, Pastor Antonio Carlisle was actually once again convicted by assaulting another man in his home, where Pastor Antonio Carlisle held down a man while another suspect, which has gone unnamed, another suspect forcefully penetrated him for approximately 5 minutes. This is the most disgusting story I ever heard. I know this isn't the first stories that I've heard. I've heard other stories actually about church pastors going into these prisons and actually violating inmates. So this is not the first go around. But I want you guys to pay attention to this news clipping, and it is coming from out of News by way of Florida. And I think this is News for Jix. Okay, this is fair use. Take a listen to this.
That's not good. I would never thought that about him.
He's accused of raping a male prison inmate. Today, a shocked neighbor talked about the clergyman with News4JAX's I-Team.
He talked about God. Yeah, he let us know, we need God in our life, and actually we got saved.
Right now, 45-year-old Antonio Carlisle is in the Duval County Jail. Aside from being the senior pastor at a church in Lake City, he's an education supervisor for the Florida Department of Corrections. News4JAX's I-Team reporter Tarek Miner is joining us with what we know about this reported sex crime. Tarek?
Well, Tom, the alleged rape of a male prisoner occurred in August of last year while Antonio Carlisle was in a management role at the Florida State Prison. Investigators say they now have solid DNA evidence linking Carlisle to the crime. Reverend Antonio Carlisle has been the senior pastor of this Lake City church, the Greater Vine Missionary Baptist Church, for the past 17 years, according to church members. They also tell the News4JAX's I-Team it was common for Carlisle to talk about the good work he was doing at the Florida State Prison. But while employed as an education supervisor by the Department of Corrections, a male prisoner came forward in early August telling investigators that Carlisle physically overpowered and sexually assaulted him in prison. A sexual assault kit was collected from the victim, and a DNA cheek swab was taken from 45-year-old Carlisle just last week. The analysis of the DNA reveals a positive match. Carlisle's neighbors say it's all hard to believe.
That's crazy. That's bad. That's not good. I would never thought that about him. We didn't see that in him. He was always talking good.
They never do see it in them. They never do see it in them. But if you guys watch this to the end, I will most definitely drop that link down in the description box. But this is mind-boggling. This story was so mind-boggling to me. I actually heard about the story earlier today, and it just took me some prepping to even sit and talk about this. I just had to prepare myself and prep myself to even talk about something of this nature. Thank you all for tuning in. I will be coming with another news story in probably the next 30 minutes to an hour, so make sure you stay tuned. Most definitely drop your comments down in the description box. What do you think about this situation? This is a place, this man coming in as a rehabilitator, an educator, somebody from the church that they are supposed to be able to trust in prison. A person would think in prison that they would what? Get raped by the guard or maybe an inmate, maybe a cellmate. No, you get raped by the pastor that came to the church to help educate you. This is the sickest shit I ever heard. Make sure you go and hit me up over on YouTube at Katie Talk 101. I'm most definitely going to be posting this video. You guys over on YouTube, drop down in the comments and let me know what you guys think about this. This is some sick stuff. Thank you for tuning in. And as usual, love you, YouTube, and I love you, Facebook. Peace.